know that learning languages by watching TV is like a game changer. This will definitely take your language learning up a notch. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to tell you about how you can make the most out of learning languages by binge watching streaming TV. I'm going to tell you a couple of streaming services I personally use and how you can find different series in different languages. I've gotten this question many times, how I find different series, different TV shows or movies in different languages. So I'm going to tell you how I find them. I'm going to tell you which services I use to watch all of my series, all of my TV shows in foreign languages. And I'm also going to tell you about the best methods you can employ while learning languages by streaming TV. You absolutely have to use methods to do so, because you can't just watch a foreign movie in a foreign language and expect for you to like improve your language skills. You could be watching a Chinese movie and without any pre-notions of Chinese, you won't understand a word. But if you employ several steps while you're learning, you will definitely get the most out of learning languages while watching TV, watching streaming TV, watching anything. So let's get right into this topic. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is tell you about the streaming services I use. Not just streaming services, but other services in combination with the streaming services in order to get the most out of learning languages while streaming TV. Actually, streaming TV was one of the first things I did when learning languages. Before all of those streaming TV websites existed, like Netflix, Amazon, like all of those websites, before these existed, they had a couple, the streaming online websites you have where you just go on Google and just type in like the movie or series you're looking for, and then you have these websites, but they're always like taken down after a couple of months or years or so. Then you have to go find another website. Like I used to do this all the time. Like I find one website, streaming website, and then they took the website down, and then I had to go find another streaming website. This was actually a hassle. And now I'm really glad that you have websites dedicated to streaming where you can easily have access to foreign language content. And one of the most popular websites, of course, is Netflix. So Netflix is my first go-to resource I use when I want to watch and binge watch streaming TV. Like all the series I love, all the movies I want to watch in their original version, all the foreign language content, I usually look for. The first place is like Netflix. And it's easy because everything is just on there. So in my previous videos about different series and movies in different languages, like I think I did one in Spanish and in Portuguese. So the best Spanish and Portuguese speaking Netflix series. And a lot of you guys were telling me that in your country you don't have the specific like series I was suggesting, and I have an amazing service for that. You can actually use a VPN. So if you don't know what a VPN is, if you might have traveled like to countries like China or Cuba, where a lot of stuff is banned, a lot of websites are banned and stuff, you definitely know about VPNs. VPNs are the best thing if you want to have worldwide content and stream everything you like. So basically, by using a VPN, it allows you to serve the internet privately with a private server. So the website doesn't really know where your server is located. Like for example, I could be located in France or Germany right now, but then I put my server onto an American one, and then the website will think I'm actually located somewhere in New York, but in fact I'm here in Germany. So ExpressVPN is the best VPN. Honestly, I used it when I was in China for a whole month. And in China, of course, a lot of social media apps like Facebook, Instagram are banned, and even like huge websites like Google, so you definitely need a VPN when you're there. I was there for a whole month, so I definitely needed a VPN. Even YouTube was banned. I couldn't access my YouTube, so I needed a VPN for that. And luckily I was able to download it while I was there, because it's even difficult to download it while you're there. You usually have to do it before you're traveling to a country where everything is banned. So anyway, I downloaded ExpressVPN. This is the VPN. That's the best VPN I found. There are so many other VPNs, but honestly, ExpressVPN was the best ever because the others would always like shut down. There was always some kind of problem, you know. But with ExpressVPN, there was never ever a problem. So actually, I didn't come on here to talk about ExpressVPN for those countries, you know, where everything is banned, but ExpressVPN is amazing for Netflix and for streaming TV websites. Like, you could just have a VPN, you know, because like I told you, the VPN is a private server, so your location is basically hidden, you know. So you could be somewhere in a country and you just put the VPN on the location like in another country. For example, if you're in a country where content is not available, you know, even with YouTube due to copyright reasons, a lot of content is not worldwide available. So with the VPN, you basically undergo this issue. I'm going to show you how you can use it. When I first started using Netflix, I noticed that basically when you download the version of the country wherever you are, is going to be automatically the version you have, you know. So my Netflix in Germany could be another Netflix for you in the US, you know, because here there are German series that are included in Netflix, and for you guys in the US or wherever you are, there are local series like in your local language. This is how Netflix works. Content is basically tailored to wherever you are. It is location bound, but if you don't want that, you simply use the VPN. Like I said, I use the VPN. So for example, if I don't want the German content, because some series that are available in the US are not available in Germany. Some series that are available in Spain or that are available in Brazil might not be available in France. So basically what you do with the VPN, where it comes in like very handy, you just change the location of the VPN. So for instance, I put on US location, and then Netflix shows me all the shows that are available in the US that I didn't even know of. If I go to the home page, I see tons of series I didn't see or didn't even have before. So all these series here are not available on the German Netflix. For you guys out there who are saying that you don't have specific content, some of you guys didn't have access to specific series I was suggesting, I highly recommend you just download ExpressVPN. It is just like, I think, 10 euros or $10 a month, and you can have worldwide access to any series, any content. So it is really unlimited and it always works. So what you want to do to find all the series in your targeted language on Netflix is basically in the browser tab, you type in netflix.com/browse/audio, and then you can simply go into the tab and choose the language. So this will show you all the series that have a dubbed version in your target language. So this could be original series, you know, that were recorded originally in that language, or series that were simply dubbed in that language. So it could be both of them. But if you want to look for specifically series that were originally in one language, like for example French series or Spanish speaking series or German series, then you would just simply go to the home page, and then there's a tab, the search bar, and you just type in, for example, German, or you just type in Portuguese, and then Netflix will show you all the series, all the shows, all the content that was originally filmed in that language. So another streaming website is Disney Plus. I enjoy, and Disney Plus has the huge advantage that most of its content is for kids. Of course, it's not just for kids, but also, like, you know, family content. The advantage is definitely that the language of the series and movies you're watching is gonna be like much easier to understand, you know, because it is for kids or teenagers. So it's gonna be much more like simple language. It's like the best way to learn. Kids movies, kids series, kids shows are the best way to learn a new language, are the best way when you're a beginner and, you know, getting into learning a new language. So you could definitely go on Disney Plus and also start watching kids movies on Disney Plus. So the same thing here, you could also use ExpressVPN for Disney Plus. So now I want to give you a couple of methods you need to use in order to effectively learn languages while watching, TV. The one misconception is that you just gonna watch and then like watching and then repeatedly watching you're gonna learn, but it is not like that. Actually, you have to play an active part in it, because if you're not a speaker of Chinese, like I said, you could just simply be watching so many Chinese series and movies, and one after another you just binge watch them, but you won't retain anything, you won't understand anything, because you are basically lost. So I always have a method when I watch content in different languages, and so you should too, because this is the best way to retain the information, to retain the new language that you're learning. So the first thing I always say is that you need to watch that content first in your language in order to understand, the overall message, in order to understand the background, in order to understand the different characters that are in the series or movies, in order to understand the plot, everything, So if you're watching like an episode of a series, for example, you always want to make sure that you watch it first in your language. And this is so important because you want to make sure that you get the message. Like I said, this is actually like a proven method called comprehensible input. Everything you learn needs to be in a context in order to understand it, because if it's out of context, you won't be able to understand it and retain it. So when you're watching a sequence of a movie, for example, and you don't know what the context is, you don't know, you don't understand anything, it will be impossible to understand it. You could watch it 10 times, 100 times, but if you're having a few words that you understand, you can make sense out of the message, out of the overall message. If you have, for example, apple, and then you have like tree, and you have like this few words here and there, you understand, you will, with the visuals together, you will be able to make a storyline out of the visuals you're seeing and the audio you're hearing. This is just a simple method. This is what I always tell you, to first make sure you understand the message, and then that's why you want to first watch in your language, and then you want to watch in your target language. It could be the second, third time, fourth time around. So when you watch in your target language, you will already have an overall, a general comprehension and understanding of the plot. This makes things so much easier when learning new words, when learning new vocabulary, new sentences and expressions, because you take them from the context and they're not just standalone phrases, that don't make any sense for you. So what you want to do if you're an absolute beginner and you decide to watch a series on Netflix in German, make sure you already have a base of vocabulary. That is super important. It could just be simple words, and then you go watch a Disney Plus movie and you will definitely understand like the context. So another method I always mention is repeat the sections, repeat the episodes you're watching. This is definitely super important to repeat, like not to just watch a sequence once, but to repeat it. You could watch it like 10 times. It doesn't matter how many times you watch, but definitely you want to watch more than once or twice. Definitely you want to make sure that you watch as much as needed in order to retain, the new vocabulary, new expressions, new information that you gain. So definitely always watch multiple times and repeat. Repeating is key here. Repeat. I don't care how many times, but repeat. The third thing is, when you watch in your target language, you want to make sure that you watch first in your language in order to understand, but then at one point you want to switch into the target language. And this is super important because you want to see the words spoken and written out at the same time. So when you watch a Brazilian series, you want to watch it like in Portuguese, but also watch the subtitles written down in Portuguese. The first couple of times, of course, it could be in English or in your own language, but then you want to make sure that it's in your target language. So I even do that with, for example, Chinese movies. I try to watch, I try to see the top subtitles like written in Chinese, like in Mandarin Chinese, so I can see the words corresponding to the writings, you know, to the characters. So you want to do the same thing with your target language. Like the most probable thing is you're just reading the subtitles but you're not really listening to the language. That happens, like that's what happens 99% out of the times. People are just reading the subtitles but they're not listening to the language. So you could be watching a Mexican movie but then you're just reading subtitles and you don't get anything out of what they're actually saying. You don't retain what they're saying in Spanish. You don't retain the different words, the different pronunciations, because you're just so concentrated on reading the subtitles. That's why I advise to actually switch the subtitles after you get an understanding of everything, of the overall, you know, context. Then definitely switch the subtitles again into the target language. So for that, you want to use closed caption CC subtitles. So this is like the one-on-one like translation of everything they're saying. So if you're watching Brazilian series, then definitely watching Portuguese CC with closed captions if they have it, because otherwise the subtitles are not always like very accurate. Most of the times the translation is quite off, unfortunately. But if you have like the closed captions, then it is definitely like true to what they're saying. Those were a couple of tips on how you can get the most out of binge watching streaming TV and learning languages at the same time. So definitely use a couple of those tips. If you have more tips, then leave them in the comments down below. We always want to know and learn more. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.